Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Sejanus, his fall, and we get another long one from Tiberius today. Now remember, the first half of this scene really had very little to do with what's going on now. Sejanus wants to get into Livia's good graces so that he can find out Drus's secrets. But then Tiberius came in and he was being given letters. All sorts of people had suits that he needs to address. And in yesterday's, he was responding to some of those suits and he was like, no, we don't need to put up a statue of me. Like, all I should really want is the admiration of my people. And also, if you leave a statue up for too long, it fades in value over time. And if people's perception of that individual changes, then it's no longer like a monument to how great they were. Then it's just like a sad thing that's sitting there in the square. So he's like, no, I don't need any sort of statues for me. And the peanut gallery sitting over here, Aruntius, Sabinus, Silius, Cordua, all of them are like, what? Like, I can't even. And Aruntius is like, does this man even know what he's saying? Like, he's such an idiot. I can't sit here and listen to his hypocrisy anymore. But they're like, wait, just cool your jets for a minute. Keep listening. He's like, okay, fine. Like, I'll listen for one more minute. And Tiberius goes on responding to some more of the letters that he has been given to review. And he says, their choice of Antium, there to place the gift, vowed to the goddess for our mother's health, we will the Senate know we fairly like, as also of their grant to Lepidus for his repairing the Aemilian place and restoration of those monuments. Their grace, too, in confining of Sejanus to the other isle, Cythera, at the suit of his religious sister, much commends their policy, so tempered with their mercy. But for the honors which they have decreed to our Sejanus, to advance his statue in Pompey's theater, whose ruining fire his vigilance and labor kept restrained in that one loss, they have therein outgone their own great wisdoms by their skillful choice and placing of their bounties on a man whose merit more adorns the dignity than that can him, and gives a benefit in taking greater than it can receive. Blush not, Sejanus, thou great aid of Rome, associate of our labors, our chief helper. Let us not force thy simple modesty with offering at thy praise, for more we cannot, since there's no voice can take it. No man here receive our speeches as hyperboles, for we are far from flattering our friend. Let envy know, as from the need to flatter, nor let them ask the causes of our praise. Princes have still their grounds reared with themselves, above the poor low flats of common men. And who will search the reasons of their acts must stand on equal bases. Lead away our loves unto the Senate. So, there's a lot in this one. So he goes on, the first bit of this, he's like, there are some good things that they're saying here. There's supposed to be a gift to the goddess for our mother's health, and I agree with that. And yes, give money to Lepidus so that he can do some stuff. And yes, Sejanus, like being exiled. All of this is fine and good, but they want to make a statue of Sejanus and put it in Pompey's theater. And he's like, this is brilliant. What better way to honor such an honorable man as Sejanus? And he even goes so far as to say to the people around him, he's like, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating here. Sejanus is the greatest aid of Rome. I love it that he calls him our chief helper. That reminds me a little bit of like small children helping their parents make dinner in the kitchen. Oh, you're my chief helper. But he means it as Sejanus provides a lot of assistance to the nation. So he's like, I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying that this guy is like the most important guy that's around here. And yes, he should have a statue of him erected in Pompey's theater. I think that that's a great idea and nobody better question this. And then he's like, okay, ta-ta, love to everybody, kiss, kiss, bye-bye. And he and his train all exit. So we're left with just the peanut gallery. We have Aruntius, Sabinus, Cordua, Silius, and also Drusus is still there. But Drusus is off to the side for just a minute. And the peanut gallery is like this, that's going to ruin Pompey's theater. If you put Sejanus, a statue of Sejanus in there, that's sacrilege to do that. And Silius is like, careful, Drusus is like right over there. Because remember, Drusus is Tiberius' son. But then Drusus comes over and he's like, is my dad bonkers? What is he thinking giving this guy a statue? Because also, if he gives this guy a statue, that elevates this guy to be like on even footing with the emperor. Like, what happens then? What's going to happen to this guy's ego? What's going to happen to people's perceptions of him and his place in society? Like, is my dad absolutely nuts? So Sejanus and his train like come back through, they're crossing, and Drusus gets right up in his face and he's like, you don't deserve this. And he slaps him across the face, and Sejanus is like, whoa, what? And Drusus pulls out his sword, challenges Sejanus to a fight, and threatens to crucify him. The peanut gallery over here is loving this. They're like, oh, Drusus is noble, Drusus is noble. And they start calling him Castor, which I had to look up what that actually meant in context. And there's a lot of definitions in modern speech that refer to like the secretions of beavers. And I don't think that that's what they're talking about. I think that this is instead of reference to like maybe one of the divine twins or the Alpha star in the Gemini constellation, or just a word that basically means he who excels. So the peanut gallery sees Drusus draw his sword against Sejanus, and they're like, Castor, Castor, like, you demand, you demand. And then everyone leaves except for Sejanus, so we don't actually get to have a sword fight at this particular moment. We've only had Sejanus get slapped and get threatened, but Sejanus gets a real brief tidbit. It's not long enough to be a monologue for this, but he gets a brief tidbit to like twirl his mustache and say, ha ha ha, I'm gonna get my revenge on that silly Drusus. Like he's got what for coming for him, kind of thing. And then that's the end of Act 1, Scene 2. So, oh my goodness, all the drama and 2 very, very, very long scenes. There are going to be some shorter ones coming up, I promise. But come on back tomorrow for more, and we'll figure out what's going on between these 2 factions. And is the statue going to come into play later? We'll find out. I'll see you tomorrow for more. Mwah.